How are we doing today, Duane? Winners Lounge, baby. I'm hyped.
Winners Lounge at home. Let's go.
Man, very little people actually get wins at the Dick, and the Rapids finally did. So it feels good. It feels real good to walk out of that.
Thanks to Martinez being a dick. So
Dude.
we salute you, sir.
Also, thanks to Tillman being a complete sucky player. He helped the Rapids out so much. He might have been their best midfielder today, honestly. Might have been the Rapids' best midfielder. Either way, I am Yahya Cowboy Yahya here with Mr. Duane Downtown Brown. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
Dude, I'm good. I mean, this game had... I feel like the past 3 hours have had every emotion possible. I mean, gone from excellent vibes at the tailgate, seeing friends and buddies after some time to there's Mitch in his car for a special appearance.
Let's go. Oh, boys.
So, yeah, I mean, we went from excellent vibes at the tailgate to everyone on Twitter hating the Rapids. Me sitting there in the stands wondering why Djordje Mihailovic plays for the Rapids when he never gets the ball. To birthday goals, to a brace from Djordje, to Martinez being a total dick and getting a red card for it, to a win at home. I mean, every emotional response possible happened today, thanks to the Colorado Rapids. We've been through it.
It's a great win today, but we got a guy, Mitch the Pid, that's not going to be on the whole show, but he's going to talk a little bit because he is too hyped not to talk about Himani Stewart-Baines.
Yeah, I mean, is Porg somehow the greatest MLS drafter of all time?
I can't think of another one right now.
I mean, come on, brother. We got Himani Stewart-Baines. We got Moise on his birthday, our Canadian king. We have the Djordje breakout, which we all knew was coming eventually. And I was watching on my phone in a farmhouse in Western Slope of Colorado, losing my mind. Amazing.
Oh, man. I got people over right now, so I even screaming, it was a little bit weird. I was like, I can't really help it, you know? Like, it is what it is. Like, it was, to be fair, it was a really boring game for about, 50 minutes. It was one of the games that everybody was kind of like, why am I even watching this? Then the second half kind of came around, and it was just like, holy shit. What is this game? It became a complete shit show, and it was just action after action, and we were all enjoying it very, very much.
Man, every one of these big results, it's like, what were we doing against Houston? You know, what was going on against Nashville? We're capable of these type of performances, right? Where Djordje just takes over against, one of the best clubs in the league, just puts the team on his back and says, let's go, I got this. Club record signing. And so it's I mean, I think this team is close to legit, right? I mean, you can't give them legit because they've dropped points to bad teams, but you're going to show up in big games like this, man. I mean, your 3 biggest games of the year, you pulled out, 7 points out of, and I don't know, it's looking pretty good.
I'm not ready to anoint this we're on the right track yet, but I said it. This team can be on the right track.
Can be, correct, yeah.
Can be. And again, I'm cool with everybody's take. Like, if you think they're there, if you think they're close, cool. I have my own personal take. Opinions matter, right? That's what sport is about. Opinions and what we can kind of talk about when the game's not going on. Duane, you were out there. You were in the stands. You were out there chugging beers and throwing penny in the air when the Rapids scored. How was it being in the stands for this great comeback win, dude?
That second Djordje goal, that place erupted. Like everybody cheers, when there's goals. But playing against that team after just all of, again, just the Martinez dickishness, just that kind of like the crappy little shoves from behind the play that I was watching from LAFC, just that entitled LAFC. We deserve everything because we're LAFC. And then just to get punched right in the mouth from Djordje Mihailovic, that place went bananas. It was awesome. Like, just, I mean, we couldn't get out of our seats fast enough. People were fumbling with their scarves to start throwing them around. It was pandemonium. It was, as C38 scarves say, mile high mayhem. That is what happened today. It was great. It was great.
I mean, I'm so jealous that you were there for the game. I mean, they haven't scored 3 goals in a game since they were at Galaxy in May of last year. It was the last time they scored 3 goals in an MLS game. And the fact that you got to take Penny and see a great win on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, or Saturday afternoon. Saturday. It's just, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get better than that.
You know what the irony is, and I'm not complaining at all, because I loved it, is that the Rapids started on the opposite side of the pitch that they normally do. Mm-hmm. So normally those goals would have been down with me and C38, and they all happened at the other side, but it didn't matter. It was as B-Ray Johnny's saying, it was a gorgeous day outside. It was awesome. It was awesome.
So, right now we're hyped. We're all in, man. I'm like, DJ, play my song, dude. Like, I'm trying to get
and we deserve it.
Like, I'm trying to get down right now. But Mitch, what's your hottest take from this comeback win against the hated evil empire that is LAFC? What's the one take, good, bad, or negative, whatever it is? What's that one take that you're like, this shit might be blatant?
Start the Djordje Mihailovic MVP campaign, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh.
Let's go.
So that's 3 goal contributions in 1 game.
Correct.
That's I don't think any Rapid has a 3 goal contribution since
I believe I think it was 2020. It was Diego Rubio against Salt Lake in 2020.
That 5-0 win in Rio Tinto.
Just crazy. Man, he was so dialed in. I'm so happy for him to get the assist and then that free kick goal that he couldn't get against Seattle. That there was like some justice in there, at least just a little bit. I've said it a few times, but I mean, we're talking about potentially the most talented player we've been able to watch in Burgundy. Maybe besides Valderrama, like it's a short list.
Might be the most high-end player the Rapids have had on the list. It might be like Pibe, then we might have a Pibe, we have Tim Howard right there, Jermaine Jones, if you're just talking talent-wise.
Right. But like, he's right there.
At their prime, you're getting a Djordje Mihailovic right at his prime. Like, I can't disagree that you're going to be watching one of the elite players of this league for the years to come. The breakout couldn't have come sooner. I think you're going to see his play open up a lot. You're going to see him really just feel comfortable taking creative chances, which is we've been complaining about for how long, right? Like, make those creative chances, put it out there. Let's not see the same old boring deep ball cross. I think having Kevin Cabral out there, I just got really one more point, and then I'll let you guys do it, and I'll get back to vacation. No, dude. Hey, man, I want to give you your time. We have a whole show. Me and Duane will get into it. Me and Duane will kiss babies and hug everybody for the next 40 minutes.
Kevin Cabral, man, I know he didn't have a goal contribution or anything, but I really liked what his presence just in the formation did to the math defensively for LAFC.
even with such a strong backline, you saw them scramble. And then the pivot that we have been asking for, which the three of us here have talked about it, that the double striker finally really worked. Like you saw those center backs have more choices to make in the box. And you saw Kamani and Djordje team up because of it and kind of just bury a goal that might not have otherwise been there without those center backs having to pay attention to the two strikers together. Great moves by Armas. I liked all the subs. It's you see the process right now. Now you have to carry this, right? We have to see this against Miami, and you got to see it against all these other clubs.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen him doing against the best clubs on the schedule so far, minus Portland, right? So it's exciting to see. I'm very happy that you guys get to do a full Winners Lounge right now. I wish I could be there. I wish I was at the stadium today, but I will see you guys soon, and I'll be back on the show on Wednesday.
Real quick, Mitch.
Yeah.
Quick question. Do you approve of the nickname Himani Stewart?
Yes, 100%. I think it's perfect.
Himani, it was given to us by the gods. It was given to us by the burgundy gods, and they're like, here you go.
Dude, how cool is it that two Canadians MLS draft picks are like big pieces? It's so, who would have saw that one coming, right? Like
2 of the 7 Canadian Adidas generation draft picks in the history of the MLS draft have been contributors to a Rapids team. Who would have said?
Crazy.
Look at us.
Let's get our maple syrup ready for the next episode.
If either of them score a goal, I will chug maple syrup.
We'll sing the Canadian national anthem at the start of the next episode, and it'll be a good time.
It's the Canadian, man. Like without Canadians, I don't think this team would be anything.
Love it.
We
love it
so much.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Mitch. We appreciate you jumping in by, man, helping us out. We love you very much. Hope you have fun out there.
Winners Lounge. Let's go. All right, guys. I'll see you Wednesday.
See you, man.
All right, man. How good. All right, Duane. Now that we're back to a regular feeling, we're kind of eased down a little bit. What was the one part about this game that gets you really excited going forward? So what's one part that you're like, there's still work to be done?
I mean, the entire offense, there's still work to be done. That's no surprise to anybody. It was still, there was still, 80 minutes of frustration on the offensive side of the ball. We finally score a goal and run of play, after. So, no, we had 2 set pieces.
Two set pieces. You're right.
Yeah. So, that we still got some work to do there, and we can, dive into that. The piece that I'm happy about is, and we just talked about it, but my God, is Moise Bombito freaking incredible. Like, that dude is so good at soccer. Like,
Jared's right, man. It's moist for moist. That's what it is. That he had that whole damn building feeling like they were in a rapid at how moist they were for moist. Like, it was back in the game today for him, dude. He was incredible.
He's amazing. I mean, it's, Dustin and everybody else. I mean, Bombi is a game changer. It's the dude is, I mean, he is him, as much as Himani is him. Bombi was here first, and he just, I can't say enough good things about him. When things start to break down on the defensive side, it seems like he always just shows up out of nowhere. He scores a goal, he turns around, runs back to C38 and celebrates. It's like you look for a player to, run over to the stands where their family is. Like when you watch, they run to their family, they celebrate. Bombi runs to C38 and he gets them pumped up. Djordje scores that first goal, the first thing after everybody is done hugging each other is Bombi already running halfway across the field to clap and celebrate with C38 again. Like he just on the ball, off the ball, whether it's just good vibes or it's great soccer, like Bombi is what I want every Rapid to be. Like he's the total package.
This is the way I kind of think of Bombi, right? You know how like there's a Rapid, it's very dangerous, waves crashing, that kind of thing. That's what the routine is. Very hectic, chaos all the time. Bombi's that wave that you hit right after the Rapid that kind of calms you down, just kind of gets you on a smooth plane and tells you everything's okay, guys. We're safe. I've got you. That's what Bombi is, dude. Bombi is that wave that catches you right at the end to just make sure that you're okay, make sure that you're feeling good, and that's why we love him, right? He's for the fans. He's not for the streets. He's for us. He's for the pids, and that's what Bombi brings to the table.
Yeah.
Now, what was your thoughts? Before we get any deeper into this conversation, I'm getting very excited about this whole game.
There's a ton of stuff to talk about. Yeah. We got a lot to unpack.
All over the place. Let's take a step back because we had to take some hot takes. We had to get excited. Let's recap the game a little bit. We start off, and it feels like each team starts throwing haymakers right off the bat, right? You got the Rapids going one way, then you have immediately LAFC running back and getting like 3 incredible shots. By the way, shout out Zach Steffen, dude. Those shots that he took within those first 5 minutes of the game, and he just went off the crossbar, then 2 more saves. Incredible job by him. Unsung hero. Great job. But then you have Atuesta, a guy that's coming from the same team that Rafa is in Palmeiras, loaned back to LAFC because he didn't have a successful stint out there, and scores a beauty. And when I say a beauty, a gorgeous goal. One of those goals that you see on highlights at the end of the year, and you're like, holy shit, how did that go in? Incredible job by Atuesta. And after that, the Rapids kind of panic a little bit, right? LAFC is getting more pressure. They're controlling the ball more. They're pushing for that second goal. And then around minute 30, it kind of shifts a little bit. And the Rapids get that corner. And at minute 36, Bombi scores that goal. And we're all even going into the half. Incredible time to be alive if you're a Rapids fan. You're cheering for Bombi. Shout out the birthday boy Bombi, man. Going out there and killing it for everybody. We enter the halftime. I'm feeling horrible because I think the Rapids are lucky to be even at the half. We get into the second half. Rapids start dominating the game a little bit more. They start getting possession. They start pushing for that goal to get that victory. Then you get Martinez, like a 75th minute or a 70-minute sub, comes in, and also incredible goal by him. Does it? It's a single effort. Weaves and drives through 2-3 different players. It's that bottom right corner. Incredible shot too. I don't think Zach could have done much in those. That's more defensive errors on both of those. And now the Rapids are down. But just like Martinez give it, he take it. Gets a second yellow, gets a red. Oh no, first you got the Mihailovic free kick, which was even a prettier goal than any goal LAFC scored. Top right corner against the world-class keeper. World class, dude. One of the top keepers in the world to ever play. And just top right bin. Stadium goes wild.
And same shot. Same shot that was missed that Cabral picked up last time. Just
in Seattle.
But he corrected it. Like same exact shot.
And that's what a baller does, right? Ballers keep shooting. Shoot or shoot. That's what you do. He takes the exact same shot, top right bin, incredible shot. And he take it. Gets a second yellow for shithousery and a sent off. And the Rapids smell blood at that point. They start going all out. And that's where Rafa and Sam get that perfect connection that we've kind of been missing a little bit on that left. And Rafa puts in a perfect ball to Kimani on the far right post, where instead of taking the shot or fumbling with the weak shot, drops it up to Mihailovic, who knocks it in, not with his foot, but with his kneecap. And it looks like it's one of the strongest shots he's ever had. Goes in, and we're all celebrating at the 89th minute. incredible time to be alive. Incredible time if you're a Rapids fan.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was great. Um, One thing that I want to talk about that I want to get into this first half. I kind of want to bring the emotion down a little bit and get into the first half and talk about why this first half looks so different from the second half. Because it was like you were watching two different games, right? Like the first half was boring, it was slow, and the Rapids didn't do much. Second half, they go in and they start attacking. They start getting chances, and they're clearly the better team on the pitch. To me, it's because they kind of took the ball away from Cole a little bit in that second half. They let Ollie kind of run the table that in that pivot spot, and they kind of let Cole drift around and create more spaces for people. But I also think it was a mentality thing where Djordje said, "We're not losing this game," and I refuse to let any us lose this game. What do you think, Duane?
I mean, I think the biggest difference between the first and second halves are, and Warner said it too in the first half. Again, this was when, the running the gamut of all the emotions when everyone was very down on the Rapids in the first half.
I was ready to fire the front office, dude.
I know. We were sending messages back.
I tweeted it. There's evidence out there.
I thought I was going to be doing this show by myself because I thought Yahya was going to quit before halftime. The problem or the difference between the two halves is you have a DP at the 10 and you're playing Pablo ball. Everything is long passes. And it's like, that's where I was just, I saw that tweet from Wanners and I was like, yes, that is exactly right. And I'm sitting here wondering, like, why do we even have Djordje if we're not going to get him the ball? My 9-year-old is sitting beside me and we're talking about the differences in passing. And she says, why don't the Rapids just pass it, stand closer together and pass it more? Every time they pass it across the field, they take it away. And I'm like, yes, that is exactly right. And so, it's just, she and I are breaking down the game, after she played her game this morning. And it's just like, look, man, like even my 9-year-old is seeing it. Those long balls just destroyed any momentum that we had in the first half. It was just, they weren't even good long balls. They were so easy to pick. I don't know how many turnovers there were, but it was a lot.
There was only 2 good ones in that first 5 minutes, and after that, they're like, "Oh, we can beat them," and then like, "Oh, LAFC like, we'll just adjust, we'll just push our line back a little bit."
For sure, yeah. I mean, and that's the big difference, is we saw less of that in the second half, and the ball was shared a little more into the final third. Final third has been our Achilles heel all season so far. I mean, it's early still, but we have to shoot more. That's first and second half. Djordje could have had 3 goals tonight or today. There was a shot that it was just wide open for him to haul off and just shoot it. And he chose again to pass it. And it's, I jokingly said on Twitter, we need to get a jar for all of the Rapids players. And every time a Rapids player goes into the box and does not shoot, they have to put $100 in the jar. And some charity's going to get it, and they're going to be bazillionaires with the way we're not shooting.
I'm not working for the rest of my life.
Yeah, we'll split it. They can send it here.
It's the Indiana Rapids fund. That's what it's going to be called. We'll decide what happens with that money. But that's a really good point. That it was a very passive first half from our star players. Even Rafa was kind of invisible, right, in that first half. He didn't really do much either. One player that I really didn't like in today's game, and this doesn't mean that he should be benched, doesn't mean that he shouldn't play anymore, is Cole Bassett. I jokingly texted Duane and said, "Trade Cole Bassett and get a pick." Again, don't mean it, not real. Like I love Cole, great guy to talk to. I think he's a key piece to his team. But he had one of those games where nothing worked for him today. He was trying to drive by a player, got taken away. He would pass the ball, very bad pass. There was very bad decision making too, where he had Djordje wide open and completely and just rather it took the shot instead. Like that kind of thing, it kills momentum a lot of the times. I just think he was out there trying to do too much as well, and trying to control a game that he didn't let it come to him. The best players let the game come to them. They don't go chasing for that next ball. They don't try to make more happen there they have to be. And I think that's something Cole has to work on a little bit. If today's game felt more like last year's Cole at the beginning of the season, where he was
Mhm.
trying to be the only guy. But once he kind of realized, hey, I don't have it, let me give it to Ollie and Mihailovic, who are completely killing it right now, that are like dominating that midfield. And one of the worst midfielders I've ever seen in Tillman just completely dominated him and took him off the ball. And I was just like, yeah, dude, Cole learned. That's the kind of thing I want to see from Cole. And that's something we didn't see from him last year, right? He didn't have a great game, but he allowed other players to have great games after he stepped away a little bit and understood, hey, I don't have it right now. What can I do to help the team, even if I don't have it? And that's a maturity piece that we didn't see from him very often. And that's something I was really excited about heading into that second half, where he kind of just read the game a lot better and let it come to him. He wasn't a key factor to this win, but he was one of those cogs that had everything kind of turning towards the
Agree, 100%, man.
end. What's what's more punchable, Denis Bouanga or Chicho Arango?
More punchable?
Yeah, who has a more punchable face?
Man, the only person I wanted to punch today was Martinez. Like,
You hate
that's
Martinez?
dude, he was such a turd today. Like, and he got sent off because of it. Like
He did.
he scored the goal and he's like, showboating around, and then
Very talented, by the way, but
so
man,
I don't
this
care.
guy,
He's
yeah,
still
he
a
sucks.
he's still a dick. Like, no, I mean, he effed around and he found out. Like, that's the thing. He got entitled with this whole LAFC thing. The refs are back, so they're gonna play it to us again, and it didn't. So good for the refs. And it's like Brendan's saying, it's that mentality that LAFC has. Um, I mean, I have no reason to punch Belonga. Like, I mean, honestly, like that dude's fun to watch. Like he's awesome. Like, I mean, I got no reason to hate him. Like, he doesn't play dirty. He didn't. He's not diving every 5 seconds.
Well,
It's just
actually, that's the one reason I thought you didn't like him, because in that first half he was like flopping everywhere and like begging the refs and asking for penalties every time he went down. Like I thought that would make him very punchable for you.
I did. I maybe I missed all of that. I don't know. I didn't see him taking too many, but I'm there. I'm there with Penny, so I don't catch every little thing in the game
Yeah, you're trying to
when
have
I'm
fun with your
watching.
daughter, of course. Oh, of course.
So, but yes, I do hate floppers. Nothing gets under my skin more. We talk about this in the office all the time. It's the hardest thing for me in soccer as a former hockey player. You dive in hockey and you get punished for real for doing that later. So, yeah, I don't like that at all. But Martinez, to me, just he kept pushing it, and I was shocked that Djordje had the wherewithal to not punch him. Like, he kept it together, and good for him for doing it, because it ended up in a yellow.
But we've seen it before with Jordy, right? With Georgie, he's kind of done that before. Where he kind of pushes people to the edge little by little. He kind of gets in their face, but he knows what to stop. He knows what the limit kind of is, and that's one thing that the Rapids were missing. Somebody like that, because you had Diego Rubio, who was willing to get people annoyed. But the thing with Rubio, he always pushed it a little too far. He always went that extra step where it kind of got him a yellow and
Well,
got him in trouble.
he was also diving all the time, so I don't think anybody took him very seriously when he was trying to push him to the edge.
Exactly. So we had that, but like Mihailovic does have a little bit more of that. Like I know what buttons to push, and I know when to stop pushing these buttons because you're already about to explode, and if I explode, we're both gonna end up on that bench watching the game on TV. Like we're not gonna be allowed here anymore. Um, Talking about the refereeing, there was a very, very clear difference in how this game was played today compared to when we had replacement refs. Today looked like a very smooth game. The the game looked like it had a rhythm to it, which is something that we couldn't say about the first 5 games. They were riddled
Yep.
with a lot of fouls. They were riddled with penalties and a bunch of kind of like not unnecessary calls both ways. And again, Rapids benefited from a lot of these. I'm not
Sure.
saying that like, but you can clearly tell that the refs made a difference in today's game and how it was played because it was a very let the game flow, let people kind of get to know each other on the pitch and see what happens and how it kind of plays out. And I think that's going to make for better football for the Rapids to come because it's going to allow them to find a flow within the game quicker without so much stoppage all the time, which is something
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of excited for.
I felt they had a lot more control. Like the game was more controlled, which was nice. It wasn't without its mistakes, whatever. There was one just egregious miss by the line judge. Even C38 called him out with the megaphone, which really cracked me up. But the goalkeeper stepped out with the ball at least 2 feet. I mean, it was the most obvious thing I've ever seen in my life, and just no call whatsoever. It should have been a corner to the Rapids, but whatever. They gave the right cards to Martinez, so all is forgiven.
Um, one guy that I wonder if you have forgiven yet because you were on that train, you were the number one fan, and it's the French assassin, Kevin Cabral, the speedster, the Flash, whatever we want to call him. Dude was on one today.
He made
What
a
are your
difference
thoughts
today.
on Kevin Cabral? You think he played good? You liked him? What's your thoughts?
I mean, the biggest thing is that he made a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our biggest complaints last year, I mean, in addition to lack of goal scoring, which was the whole team, but the biggest complaint for me last year, and I think for all three of us, me, you, and Mitch, is that when he was off the ball, he kind of like checked out. He decided he wasn't going to be part of the game anymore.
Yep.
And you'd see him kind of pacing or walking around, but didn't insert himself into the game very much. Today, we saw a very different Cabral who, when he wasn't part of the action, something else is happening. He was still plugging himself into the flow of the game, which disrupted that back line. It pulled people out of position, and he used his speed to his advantage and especially out on the wing. And, we got to look at what Cabral could be, like we didn't see a goal. And I can't say that, like, I'm not going to say that shots were anything good from the Rapids today. We're still not a team that has figured it out on how to score off, on something other than a set piece. Yes, Djordje got a goal, that happened, and it's awesome and I love it. And I'm so glad that it happened.
Yeah.
But this team still has to figure out scoring. But outside of that, which is for the whole offense, the key thing with Cabral today is that he made a difference. Like, he screwed up their defensive plan. He got them out of position. He was fast on the wings when we needed him to be. And like, that's good enough for me right now. When you've got a DP, you don't want them on the bench all the time. And when you do have them on the pitch, you don't want them just walking around, and so it's like, I'd rather you be scoring goals. But if you're not going to be scoring goals, you better put yourself into the game. That's what you're being paid so much money to do. And he did that today. And so I thought that was a nice change. I hope it's the beginning of the rise of Cabral. Like I really hope that this is the start of him being an impactful player for the Rapids.
It does feel a little bit like, because we've seen Cabral, I think, like what, 3 times already this year,
Mhm.
in 6 games in. It feels like Cabral does have a new mentality, right? It feels like it's not about me, it's about the team, and how can I help the team win? And that speaks so much about Chris Armas as a coach. A guy that can come in here and get a player that's kind of already been told that, hey, you're not going to be the guy. You haven't been the guy. You're not going to be part of our plans going forward. And then he comes in and does that, right? And plays a great game, in my opinion. Didn't score, didn't get an assist. What he did today is not going to come in on the score sheet. You're not going to see it. You're not going to hear people talking about the great goal Cabral scored today. But he is a guy that going forward you can trust a little bit more. He's giving you about 3 decent performances, a guy that you can put out there, and he's going to be a difference maker. And I'm excited for it, man. I think I even tweeted it out to the Rapids account. All 3 DPs touched the ball on a fast break for the first time this season for the Rapids, which was insane to say. And I didn't think I would see it all year, if I'm honest. But it's a great signal that Cabral could come in and maybe towards the end of the year he could be a key piece for this Rapids team. He might still not live up to that DP. He might not still be part of that DP guy. He might not still be. He still might not live up to the DP tag, but he can be a piece, and that's fine. If you can, and it's not great. It's not ideal that your DP is on the bench or it's not one of your star players. And you can kind of see it with a guy like Denis Bouanga, who completely dominated whenever he had the ball. Um, but seeing that first step from Cabral, it's very good news. It's good news for the Rapids. And going forward, it's something that I think we all have to keep an eye on, because I think we were all kind of out on him. We all kind of thought, hey, he's not going to be a piece for this team. We penciled in Omir, Calvin Harris, even Kimani Stewart-Baines, even Galvan when he was still here above him on all the depth charts, and everybody was talking about everybody else but Cabral. And today he kind of came in and showed, hey, I'm still a part of this team. I can be a key piece. Put me out there, coach, and I can get you a good few minutes.
Yeah, and that's the key. Just seeing him get in and screw up the defense.
Yeah.
And hopefully that turns into also scoring goals. But I'll take screwing up the defense so that other guys can get into scoring position any day. That's part of what we need.
And I wonder that if having Cabral out there also freed up Rafa and the other guys a little bit more, because they took up more of the presence because of what they can do with the ball. And that freed up a little bit more of the Calvin Harris on their side. Maybe in the second half, that's why Mihailovic could have the ball a lot more. Vazquez, when he had it in the first half, didn't make the greatest decisions, but he did have the ball a lot more and was able to create more than he usually can. So I wonder if having more high-level athletes out there does put a little bit more of a headache on the opposing defenses, and hopefully that can create something for the Rapids. Now, for today, Duane, out of 1 to 10, how excited are you about this Rapids win?
I mean, it's a win at home. It's a 10. I'm always going to be. I mean, did I like the first half? No, we were all miserable. Calling for everyone to be fired. Let's replace the entire roster. Outside of Bombi, but hey, a win is a win. You're down multiple times against LAFC. We've seen this team in Seattle. I think it was going up. Them getting a red. Wasn't it Seattle?
Yep.
I think it was Seattle. And not being able to put it together. And this time going up against a powerhouse like LAFC and pushing right up to the 90th minute to get the ball in. And so, I think last year, this team, even with a man up, place for the draw.
Yep.
And that's going to be good enough, and they're going to celebrate that draw. I don't think this team would celebrate or even be happy or even be happy to celebrate Bromby's birthday if this had ended in a draw. They got in, they took care of business. And so, I mean, how can you not be 10 out of 10? Like, with a win at home and scoring 3 goals. I mean, that alone is Rapids lore in the past couple of seasons.
Truly is.
So there's things to celebrate. There's things that have got to get better. We've talked about some of that already. Juan is saying, that defense is solid. It looked good. Shout out to Maxu. I saw him, like, there was a hard shot and he went in and jumped up and headed it out. And I just think if that were me, even with the mask on with a broken nose, I would be a little hesitant to go up after that with my face. And that dude was just after it, and man, respect to the guy with the broken face still going after headers. But yeah, defense is looking good, man.
Defense is going to be the Rapids' strong suit, right? It's going to be kind of it's kind of what's going to carry them a little bit more, because the goal scoring is just not there yet, and it might take a while. It might take more gelling, but I did say 5 games in. After that, it's you kind of see what you got. I'll give you 5 games, and then after that, you got to figure it out a little bit more. And who knew it? At game 6, they come back to win against a premier team in the league. So now, how much hope do you have going for the future? Do you think this can be a changing point for the Rapids going forward? Is this going to be one of those turning points where you look back and you're like, oh yeah, that's the game. We kind of saw it the first 5 games, but that come from behind win against the LAFC is what really brought the Rapids together.
I sure hope it is. I mean, the key thing that happened is Mihailovic scoring a goal in run of play. Mm-hmm. The free kick is important also, but that's his free kick. His free kick is awesome. Like, we saw it the first time, it just happened to catch the bar. It was the same kick as that other free kick. It's just he corrected it this time. That's his free kick. We're going to see that a bunch, and it's going to be fantastic. But to see a goal happen in run of play that involved 3 players that were working together to get the ball to the net is something that we've not seen from this squad yet. So, everything is about the offense right now. Until we start scoring goals, everything has to be about the offense. And it has to be about getting the ball to Djordje. It's those long balls in the first half ain't it. And we saw that. And that, like, we can't do that again. That was way too dangerous to play around with that. And, like we talked about earlier, Juan, you tweeted out earlier, when you got a DP at the 10, like, you can't be playing the long ball game. And it's the road to goals goes through Georgetown. Like, you have to get him the ball. And the few times that we saw him get the ball, that when we didn't score, you saw plays starting to develop.
It was electric, right?
Yeah, because he's controlling the ball. The passes were on purpose versus just trying to get the ball into the box. It's just different when he's got the ball at his feet. And, everybody's been talking, from the club, even, like when we had Sam and Colin on the show, the conversation has always been about, like, we got to get the ball to Rafa. We got to get the ball to Rafa. Man, you got to get the ball to Djordje. Mm-hmm. And Djordje's going to find the guy who's going to score the goal. Like, it's not about getting the ball to Rafa anymore. And I know that's what you're supposed to do with your striker. But for this team to be successful up front, you got to get the ball to Djordje and let him make that call. He's going to make that magic happen. That's what he does. We saw a taste of it today, that didn't score goals the few times that he got the ball, and then he scored a brace too, which is great. But it's just it's everything happens through Djordje. That's where we have to go.
And that's one of the beautiful things too, right? When you get the ball to Djordje, whether it's an open play or even set pieces, because he was the one taking the corners, he's the one taking the free kicks. That's when the Rapids were the most dangerous. And shout out for the Rapids for finally figuring out set pieces, which is what made you super dangerous in 2021 when you had Kellen Acosta taking them. But that's exactly what the Rapids needed, right? Take the opportunities the other team gives you, whether it's a free kick, whether it's a corner kick, penalties. That's where you can be lethal, and the rest will come with you. First, you got to just scrap your way through games and figure out how to win. And then from there, you can jump into, hey, how do we score an open play? How do we get other goals to come our way? Well, first, you got to just take advantage of what the other team gives you. And you're right. Djordje taking those free kicks and taking all those corners. When Ronan comes back, I think he should still be the guy taking them. I think he's proven himself that he's the dude out there. He is the dude when it comes to set pieces.
Well, every free kick that's near the box should be Djordje. Forever and always.
It's Djordje, man. Like he just knows exactly where the ball should be every time. And that's exactly what we want from our 10 and our DP, right? The other thing that I really, but to me, real quick before we get any further, I do want to tell you too that I think this is a turning point for the Rapids. I said it against Rafa, can you turn this into a turning point? Clearly, it didn't work out against Houston. It wasn't what you were hoping. Or Seattle, it didn't turn into a turning point. You couldn't capitalize on all these opportunities. But this one's a little bit more different. And it's basically because you got your DP going. 3 goal contributions. You came from behind and won, which the Rapids almost never do, against one of the premier clubs in the league. That is a recipe for a team that can succeed the long term for a season. Now it's up to Armas and the team to really take that energy from that building, because on TV it looked incredible. C38 was popping smoke, people were without shirts, screaming, jumping. It looked like a great time all the way around. Now all that fanfare that Chris Armas talks about we do it for the fans, we do it for them, we love this place popping. You got to continue. You got to take that energy and put out your best foot at week in and week out. And you got to take this, you got to take this with pride. You got to take this with this badge should be your heart right now, and that's how you can improve a team. When you play for the badge, when you play for the people in the crowd, and when you play for those who support you. And I think this team just got its first taste of what can the dick be when the place is rocking and when you're winning. It might not be a sold out crowd every time. It might not be a great time for everybody, but supporters are out there, supporters are screaming, and supporters are giving it their all 24/7. And once you play for that badge, people will love you, and you will be better on the pitch if people love you, because your job security will be a lot better. That's how you win, right? That's how you can get behind a coach and support him even more, and that's how a coach can turn things around very quickly.
Yep.
Duane, can you believe we're already about to be at minute 50 of this podcast?
It went by quick.
We have not given flowers to the fellas yet. So, flowers from the fellas. Let's start off with you, Mr. Downtown Browntown. What's your first flower for the day?
There are 2 obvious ones. I'm going to go with one of the 2 obvious ones, and that is Moise Bombito. That dude is, I waxed poetic on him earlier in the show. He's not just great. He's better than great. He's incredible. He's not just an incredible Rapids player, but he's an incredible Rapid. It's not just that he's putting in the work, but it's the fact that after his goal, it's after Djordje's goal, he is running back to C38 and celebrating with the fans. Like, he's turning around, he's throwing his arms up, trying to get the crowd into it. It's like, man, what else do you want from a guy? Like, he is like everything you could possibly want from a Rapids player. Like, he's it. He's a total package. Another awesome game today. Like, total flowers.
You want to know something? I am pissed I took Jones over Moise. Because I've been
Yeah,
a
you
Moise
should
guy since
be.
last year. I've been a Moise guy since last year. I've been moist for so long, and I'm pissed. I'm gonna go with a little off pick, trying to be this little guru, trying to be this guy that knows better than everybody. Try to put my chin a little bit higher, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, we should all be pissed we didn't take him first overall.
He should have
Like,
been the number one
everybody.
overall pick. How could we throw away the guy that proved himself to be him? Like, last year, took over the starting spot at the end of the year, proved that he was the guy that could be a piece for the future. But it's just Moist, man. I've said it multiple times. He is Ismail Kone. He can be that guy. That's who he is offensively. He'll find the right pass. He'll get the pass forward. He's good at headers. Defensively, he's often trusty, reliable, fast, quick, with a higher ceiling. If you're a European team right now, if you're a team in the championship, if you're one of those teams in the top 5 league that's in the bottom half of the league, or even right at the edge of trying to find a good center back, how are you not licking your chops looking at Moist right now? Looking at him like that meme, just like, I got this guy, like, I'm about to finesse these kids, baby. Like, how? If you're Cronky, how are you not looking at him and being like, dude, I'm about to load him out to Arsenal, I'll make some bank on Arsenal? Like, how, dude? How are you not one of those people that, like, get the MLS, look at this dude that's 24 years old, athletic, long, that, like, how is this dude, like, I said it at the beginning of the year, he's going to take over that starting spot for Canada. He's going to be a stalwart for them going forward, because that's the kind of player he is. I'm so excited for Moist trajectory, man. I'm so excited to be able to call him a Rapid. He is the guy that we've all been hoping for to be in that back line.
And he's not going to be here forever for all of those reasons that you said. Like, you have to, you have to enjoy every minute you get with Bombi as a Rapid, because it's not going to last too much longer. He's just too good. So every time we get to watch him, it's a blessing, man. Like, just be happy we get to watch him.
Dude,
he's great.
Moise is the kind of guy, dude, that when you're 80 years old and you're reminiscing on all your sports memories with your grandchildren, he's going to be one of those things that come up. You know what I mean? When you talk about the Rapids, when you watch them, it's going to be the Moise Bombito, the Omar Cummings, the Connor Caseys. That's the air that he's going to be hitting here soon if he continues in this trajectory.
Yep.
He's going to be the guy that we all fall in love with. Now, I'm hoping that if he does go out to Europe, he succeeds. And if he doesn't, he's a Rapid again. Because I don't want it to be a Djordje Mihailovic thing where he leaves and then goes back to another team. Because that I would be sad. That's the one that would hurt.
Yeah.
To me, there's the other obvious one that I got to give it to our guy. The DP, the 10, the dude, the Maverick, Mr. Djordje Mihailovic. That is our Serbian. The Nuggets have their own. We have our own too. We have our number 10, the guy that will lead us to glory. Dude had 3 goal contributions. How can you not be excited about a DP10, comes in, controls that midfield in that second half, an incredible free kick, perfectly placed corner, and then just gets a little knee tap in to win the game? It's fun, dude.
It's what you need from your DP. Like, he played like a DP today.
Like, all hail Mihailovic. Like, that's what it is, right? Like, all hail Mihailovic. Like, at the end of the day, that's the guy. Mihailovic. Mihail Djordje. That's the guy that you need to be on every game to win, and he did it today. He put a big smile on my face, and you can see it as I talk about him. He makes me happy. He's the kind of guy that I would leave my wife for at this point, right? Like if he asked me, like, leave your wife, dude, and I'll win every game for you going forward, I'd be like, maybe. It's the worst. Like I start thinking about it more
It's
than I
such a
should.
good thing your wife doesn't watch our show.
Oh, she does. She's in everything. I'm gonna get an earful later, and that's fine. But it's worth it for the Pids, man. It's always worth it for a good Pid. But again, man, Mihailovic, dude, how can you not be? How can you be upset at a guy that went out there, technically egged Martinez into a red, and then got him, and then got 2 goals and an assist to win the game at home and make us all very Pid happy people.
Yeah.
And
100%.
what's your next flower story?
I mean, the score doesn't show it, but I've got to go with Zach Steffen in the first half. Like, dude had some tremendous saves and really kept us in the game. Again, final score doesn't show it, but he, I mean, really came up clutch in that first half. Just with some big saves when, when you're looking at Bouanga and the rest of the LAFC offense, it's not like we're playing just some other team here. Like, this is a legit offense with legit strikes, with legit shots, with legit passing. And he came up big several times. So, I just want to throw it out to him for keeping us in the game. It could have been a lot higher number in their score tally without him.
Oh, dude, Zach Steffen has been an unsung hero in so many of these games. The conceded goals that go against him is so unfair because he's been incredible so far. I think besides the first game where he could have had, it should have been 2 goals that he could have blocked, he's been incredible.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that, he's been as advertised, right? You have a stalwart back there, a guy that's going to help you win games. To me, my next flowers have to go to, we've talked about him. We all love him. The other Canadian on the team, baby. It's Mr. Himani Stewart Baines. The dude, the promise, the kid, the guy that will be your next Deja Buchanan playing in Serie A in about 5 years. He's incredible, dude. I love him. Himani, dude, give him to me. 10 out of 10. He should be your super sub at this point. No disrespect to Jonathan Lewis. Give him that spot. Himani has learned it more than Jay Lou has so far. Like, he deserves to be in that rotation. I don't think he should be a starter, but he should definitely be around. You saw it, man. He made the right decision on that assist. It's very easy for a kid his age, man, to just be like, oh, I'm about to score this winning goal. I'm wide open. Got the goalie right in front of me. And you know what? He made the right decision. He found my highlight. I'm like, I don't got a good angle. My body momentum is throwing me the other way. Why would I force this ball into Yoriza's hands? And instead, what does he do? Give it to Mihailovic right in front of goal. Mihailovic just comes in, scores it. Like, great job by the kid, dude. Deserves all the credit for making the right decision at the most crucial time of the game. And he's only 19, a rookie coming from the MLS draft. Give him to me, dude. 10 out of 10. He's going to be a baller. Deserves all the flowers. Throw the whole damn bouquet at that kid.
Love it. I'm not going to follow that up. That was perfect.
And honestly, dude, flowers to everybody. Everybody on this damn team deserves flowers. Even if you played bad, man, you guys came back and what? That's something that Rapids don't do. Rapids usually, they pid. We all know what a pid is.
Yep.
Yeah, they're down and they're down. But you know what? They came back. They beat a really strong LAFC team. Something that none of us thought was possible, to be honest.
Final flower.
Who?
Chris Armas. We can't forget the coach. If nothing but for subs alone, like, I can't tell you, I can go back down the row of coaches, looking at Fraser and Pablo and Hudson, and just baffling mismanagement of subs. and Armas, like, he just nailed it on the subs. It was exactly what we needed. It was exactly the right energy to inject into the squad to get people into scoring positions. Dude's good at subs, man. And, and what we talked about with Cabral, like, I don't know what he's saying to these guys, but the guys are playing in a way that last year when they would have given up and just are waiting for the clock to run out, that's not acceptable anymore in an Armas system. And he ain't perfect. Those long balls, and it's not the press we were promised, but he's doing things right that we've been complaining about for years. And those subs today were just on point. Great subs, and it would be foolish to not recognize that.
Yeah, of course, man. Like again, I say this. I know it was used as an insult all over Europe, uh, but to me, because I love him, he is our Ted Lasso. He has brought in, changed the culture. Has it been pulling teeth a little bit? Has it been hard? Yes. Is it a growing pain? Yes. But you can see the guy's perspective. You can see that people love him. He wants the fans to be involved. Like, how can you not fall in love with a guy like that being your coach? Again,
Yeah.
I tweeted this. 5 games in, and the front office and Chris Armas' seat might be hot. It might start getting warm, right? Because they were not playing well. You know what? He turned it around. That's what you do. You have a shitty first half, you come back and you win the game. It's that easy. But you know what, man? This has been a great post game. Has been super fun. Every Rapid fan still watching this. Anybody that listens to this, please give this a thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, DNV_Rapids. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate all of that. It helps us out so much going forward. Show the people that we're a strong contingent, that we're here for a long term, and we want to be Rapids fans. Because in the future, you never know when they want to move the team. So show them that we matter. Show them that we care. Show them that we're still around. Also, give us a 5-star review wherever you hear this podcast. We really appreciate it. That just shows even more support to us. And one last thing from me, and then I'll let Duane plug us out, is go talk some shit to your LAFC fans. They deserve it. Why are they following that team? Go talk some shit, dude. Go be the biggest shit talker ever, because we are the rebellion and they are the evil empire, and we're here to take them down like we did today.
Love it. Hey, there's no better time to become a DMVR diehard. It's a playoff season for Nuggets, for Avs. Both of those teams are looking like true contenders once again. Your DMVR diehard membership gets you discounts in the DMVR locker for great t-shirts that you will not find anywhere else. It gets you discounts at the bar off of your bar tab. It gets you discounts to events and takeovers, insider access to all of the articles that are behind the DMVR diehard paywall. There's only one place to get that kind of coverage, and it's as a DMVR diehard. No better time to get on the website, sign up today, take your fandom from cool level to diehard level, and truly get into the inside club with that. And outside of that, there's only one thing left, Mr. Yahya.
I don't think you've ever said it before. Go ahead, man. You deserve it. It's that kind of day today.
Everybody knows it. It's up the PIDs.
We all silly like the mayor.